5:30 in the morning, and I'm already out here on the boat, back down on Cape Cod. Yes, for the 4th of July week. Well, actually, just for a couple of days, but anyway. I am determined to get this little baby off right here. This is the piece of ancient beat-up teak that goes along the back of the Lazarette. It's all going to come off, all the hardware. And this is going to be replaced with some nice, fresh, new mahogany. But in the meantime, all this is going to come off. I've already started digging out the bungs. And, you know, just to show you how worn this is, I don't know if you can see this. But look, I don't know if you can see that. But that's how worn down the teak is. That's where one of the deck cleats used to be. And it's probably at least 1/8 of an inch. That teak has just degraded away over the years. What a mess. I mean, you can see it even more right here underneath the stern light. But anyway, all this is coming off. I got to get those off. It's also going to give me a chance to look down behind that to see my the chain plate for my, which I've not seen any problem on these chain plates. I mean, they are really built into this boat. They're not through deck. They are right into the sides of the hull. But this is the stern plate for the backstay. And going to give me a chance to do that. I need to get this off right here. This is the flag mast holder. And the problem I was having was that this was collecting water. It's just like a little cup. And it's rusted through the bottom, and it's just leaking down through. It's just making a mess. So anyway, that's all coming off of there. I'm going to get this thing off of here and get the thing, use it as a template for the new piece of mahogany. That's going to have to be done up at the house because I've got this where I've got my bandsaw. But for right now, it's my little early morning project before anybody's out of bed. I got to be quiet because the bedroom that my wife is sleeping in is right next to the boat here. So anyway. That's the start. We'll get back to you a little bit later when get a little more done on this. We are back up in Vermont. Finally getting a chance to get on my bandsaw. I got everything all set up. This is the first time I've ever done this with a bandsaw. But anyway, this is my brand new mahogany piece that goes across the back of the Lazarette, and I'm going to be cutting it, and should be interesting. I also built this morning a fence so that I could rip this thing and make it thinner than it is because it's going to need to be to go down on the back of the Lazarette. So here we go. I'm going to get started on the bandsaw, and you got to take a look at what it's like to be cutting some mahogany and getting it ready to go back on my boat. Bye. And baby, you never want to put your hand near that saw until it completely stops. Anyway, so got the arch cut. My next thing, I'm going to just cut these ends. The ends are going to have to be beveled ultimately to. Here, let me turn this around so you can see it. There's the arch that goes along. That follows the back of the Lazarette. And I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. There you go. But anyway, I gotta cut the ends here. I don't know if you can see the. There you go. To match while the tow rail comes into them. But interestingly, the tow rail actually has a bit of a bevel out And so I've left them really proud on top so that when everything is all cut and shaped and everything, I can go ahead and put the bevel on and it'll match up with the way that the toe rail fits into it. So anyway, that's it. This one hole here that you see that I've got marked out, this is for the stern light. This is for the electrical to come up through for the stern light. The stern light casing is quite a bit bigger than that, with three, I think it's 3 screws that go down into it. They had another hole here, and I discovered that hole was there it wasn't there, it was not needed. What they had done, they put the flag holder over the top of it to block it, but I think what that hole used to be, there was one there, was an old one for the stern light to go in, because it looked like there was a cutout for some wiring. Anyway, the point is, the arch is done. I'm going to go ahead and cut these ends and drill the hole. Got to get a spade bit or a, hole cutter for, I guess it looks like a 1 inch. Cut that out so that the stern light can mount over the top of that. Anyway, there it is. Oh, this is going to be another cutout, but that's all going to be done by hand and jigsaw. This is for the chain plate for the backstay, and that I'm going to do very carefully. I don't want to go messing with that on the bandsaw. I don't have the space to cut very well on the bandsaw for something that fine in the middle of an arch. So that's it for now. I'll show you some finish up stuff when we're all done with this. Here's a cutout for the chain plate that I'm about to do. You'll notice that I've drilled both holes inboard of the actual lines where the cutout is going to be. That way I can take my little jigsaw, backsaw, whatever they want to call this thing, and cut down to the hole, and then turn the blade. The thickness of that hole is just the thickness of where is it? Of that blade right there. So I can actually turn the blade, and this with all of these, you can take, there's the little turn thing. You can actually turn the blade in the saw back and turn sideways and cut along the line, or actually just inboard of the line, and then pull it out and cut the final line back in. Actually, you do both the in lines first, and then cut your other one. But the whole point is you're going to always be cutting inboard of your lines. The whole point is that when you get to the boat, you want to be, if anything, a little bit shy of what you need to fit around that chain plate. And once you get there and you see how it fits, it's always easy to take out a little bit of wood with a nice wood rasp and clean it up and then bed it. But I'll tell you what, if you go too far and you take out too much meat, then you end up with a sloppy fit around your chain plate. You want to just make sure you get as nice a fit around that chain plate as you can. All right, that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to just take a couple of final pictures and throw it in with a video, and we'll be done with this. So we are back out in the garage at the bandsaw. This is the fence that I built the other day. It is nothing but a piece of pine with a couple of 2x3 blocks at each end. But then it was all very, very squared. I set my table saw blade to be absolutely dead on square, so that when this thing gets clamped down, all the edges and everything clamped down on an absolutely flat, level bandsaw top. And so I've already checked it. My square is absolutely dead on, and I love it. I mean, that's why I built this thing. And you can see here, there it is, absolutely dead on square. And all this is a rip fence. And what I'm going to be doing is taking the fantail, the fantail mahogany that I already cut out and is in the last part of the video, and passing it through this opening right here. And let me see if you can see that space. That is a little less than a ½ inch. The original material that was in teak was a ½ inch, a full ½ inch in thickness, and they managed to get that thing to lay down on a slightly curved stern top, or actually I should say Lazarette top. And so I'm hoping that by taking a little more meat off and doing a little less than a half an inch, that the new fantail trim will lay flat. I may end up having to soak it completely, just completely saturate it and lay it down and screw it into place and let it dry for a while before doing the final workup of it. That is very traditional boat building method. It works. I've done it before, and on Clarissa, when I built her, I did some of that. So anyway, we'll see how this goes. It's already set up. The width is set up so that it's a little less than a half an inch I'm going to be passing the trim through, and we'll let you take a look at that start and finish. Well, that's it. I don't know if you can see that. There's the smooth side. This is the side with a pattern on it. This is the thinned version. It was 3/4 of an inch, and it's now just a little less than a half an inch thickness all the way down through. So, and it's, I think, a little bit thinner in the middle. It was kind of an accident, but I think it may be a good accident. I think it ended up just a little thinner in the middle, as it seemed to wanted to walk out away from a bit from the fence. But you know what? We'll make it work. We'll make it work, and really happy with that. It's thinned, and that's just a little bit less than the thickness of the original. And we'll show you some of the final details on this a little bit later.